Hello and welcome once again to the hard Brexit scenario on Football Manager 2020, where the UK has left UEFA and left to fend for itself, creating its own Champions League, a new league system, and whatnot. And let's get into it, because we've got a few things to go through, such as the transfer window, which recently closed. We'll start off with that. One that hasn't gone through, but looks like it might in the summer. Man City are looking to buy Kylian Mbappe for £190 million. That would be quite the transfer, I think. So, something that could happen in the near future. Also, Kidderminster have won their league already, but we'll come back to that later. So, what has happened recently? Let's go and have a look at the transfer window. We'll just go into the world transfers and do them all at once here. So the big transfers: Marco Kana joining Man City from Inter Milan for 51 million. Huddersfield spending 50 million on Derby's Danny Wood, who is a regen, if you're wondering who that is. Brighton have spent 49 million on Jason Murillo from Sampdoria. Real Madrid spending a bit. Derby have spent £41.5 million, could lead up to 53 million for Mateo Kovacic from Barcelona. Newcastle on 40.5 million on Ethan Laird. Some European transfers there. Stratford 33 million on Benjamin Guy from Rotherham. Now that's the kind of transfer we like. The small teams buying big players, or spending big anyway. Liverpool have bought Mikola Matvinenko from Shakhtar Donetsk for 33 million. Youssef Attal from PSG to Wolves for 32.5. We've got Celtic buying Ollie Ewing from Leicester for 30.5. Matt Miazga's left Arsenal for Ajax. We've also got Thibaut Verlinden signing for Barrow for 23.5 million from Hibernian. Mohamed El Yanoussi has gone from Sassuolo to Norwich for 23.5 million. Easton Hughes from Port Vale to Watford, 23.5 million. James Ward-Prowse has gone from Man U to Spurs, 23 million. Julian Draxler has joined Leicester for 21.5 million. Barrow have signed spent a further £21 million on Toby Sibbick from Wycombe. Rangers spent £19.75 million on Grant Everton on Rezel Karaman. Rob Holdings joined West Brom for £19.5 million. Oh, so many. So many signings. Kevin Danso has gone from Southampton to Huddersfield for £18.25 million. Curtis Anderson has joined Truro for £18 million from Mansfield. Some big transfers going on in that transfer window. Kennedy has joined Sunderland from Brentford for 16.25 million, and so on. There's a lot there. I'll just click away through them, because otherwise we're going to take way too much time. Joel Matip's left Arsenal to go to Celta Vigo. Clearly Arsenal not doing as well as they'd hoped. Although they did win the league last season, so maybe it's this season they're not doing too well. Anyway, there's quite a few transfers for so many transfers that happened over the transfer window, but we'll leave that there. You know what's happened now. Now the Cup Winners' Cup in England, or the UK. Spoiler alert for the final there, but let's quickly go to the stages and see what happened in the group stage first. So in the groups, Group A, Kilmarnock won Group A with 9 points, 3 wins out of 3. Second were Tweedmouth, who only lost one match to Kilmarnock. Then Guernsey in third, Sugar Boys in fourth. Group B, Manchester City were the sole qualifiers from that group, just like in Group A, and the same situation with Europa FC in second, North Village Rams in third, Flamingo in fourth. And it's surprising, Man City only got 2 3-0 wins, and the other one was a 5-0, but for some reason it's not showing it there. Not sure why. Group C, we had 2 qualifiers from there. Cardiff City, the Welsh representatives, got 3 wins out of 3, and Coleraine came second from Northern Ireland, and they got 2 wins out of 3, but they had the best goal difference out of all the runners-up, so they made it through to the semi-finals. Third were Georgetown from the Cayman Islands, fourth Ballers from Anguilla. Ballers! In the semi-finals, if we quickly go back to those, Cardiff 0, Kilmarnock 2 goals from Ruth, and Manchester City 3, Coleraine 0, Gabriel Jesus and Daniel Loader scoring the goals there. And in the final, well, let's have a look at the goals, why not, and enjoy what happened in the final. Man City squad looking quite different these days. It's only 4 years into the future, but only really 4 players there that are still main players there. Sterling, De Bruyne, Foden and Silva. Kilmarnock, they've got a few as well. So anyway, Man City in the 17th minute. Bernardo got into the box, took a shot, went under the keeper, and it was 1-0 to Man City. So they had the advantage early on. Well, De Bruyne took a free kick only about 6 minutes later, and Rodgers got on the end of that to give Manchester City a 2-0 lead in the 23rd minute. Bernardo free kick on 40 minutes, and that went straight in. It was 3-0, not even half-time, and it still wasn't half-time when they had a corner in injury time. De Bruyne took it, and, well, they cleared it, but only to Bernardo Silva, who passed it to Florentino, who blasted it in to make it 4-0. And as I said, that was the score at half-time. In the second half, Florentino passed it to Max Aarons. He ran into the box, managed to get past one player, crossed it in Sterling. He missed. Bernardo got the rebound, and it was 5-0 to Manchester City. But unfortunately for Kilmarnock, it wasn't over yet, as Bernat put the ball in. Leroy Sané came in, and it came off the keeper. So he crossed it in, and, well, apparently Gabriel Jesus got the touch. But the final score was 6-0 to Manchester City. So unlucky to Kilmarnock, but for the third time in 4 years, Manchester City are the winners of the Cup Winners' Cup. Will they do it again next year? Find out in about 6 or 7 episodes' time, maybe. I don't know. So, what's happening in the Champions League? Well, starting with the UK Champions League, or the Brexit Champions League. We're on to the quarter-final stages there, but let's see what happened in the second and third rounds first. So, Derby beat Ross County, Norwich beat Luton, Southampton beat Truro, Man City eliminated Leicester, Lincoln beat St Mirren on away goals, Everton knocked out Dundee, Oxford eliminated Aberdeen, Reading were thrown out by Burnley, Watford eliminated by Brighton, Bournemouth beat Newcastle, Huddersfield beat Peterborough, Arsenal knocked out Bristol City, Celtic eliminated Swindon, Southend knocked out Shrewsbury, Aston Villa beat Gillingham, and Stoke Stoke did the business against Crewe in a bit of a derby there. In the third round, Everton beat Aston Villa, Huddersfield beat Celtic, Southend knocked out Brighton and Hove Albion on penalties, Manchester City, probably the favourites at this point, beat Lincoln City, Stoke beat Derby, Bournemouth beat Burnley, Norwich beat Oxford, and Arsenal smashed Southampton. So the quarter-final draw is as follows. We've got Norwich v Everton, Bournemouth v Huddersfield, Man City versus Arsenal, and Southend versus Stoke. Now, we already know the first leg results for 3 of those games. Man City and Arsenal yet to play their first leg, and that, I imagine, will decide who's going to win the damn tournament, because, well, face it, it's the 2 bigger teams in the tournament. Also, Everton and Norwich probably will be the finalists, if you ask me, unless they all play in the semi-finals. There's my prediction. It's going to be Man City or Arsenal v Norwich or Everton in the final. In the Empire League, same situation there on the quarterfinals there, but in the second round we had Burton beat TNS, Man U beat Chesterfield, obviously, Chelsea beat Macclesfield, obviously, Blackburn beat Hearts, Larne, unfortunately, the sole Northern Irish representatives were eliminated by Torquay. Ebbsfleet beat Dundee United to, surprise result there, because it's nice to see Ebbsfleet moving forward. Rangers beat Stevenage, Liverpool beat Hartlepool, obviously. Falkirk beat Inverness Caledonian Thistle by a single goal over the 2 legs. Carlisle beat Ayr, Wycombe Wanderers knocked out Nottingham Forest on away goals. Crawley beat Morton, Wolves beat Grimsby, Sheffield United beat Colchester, Portsmouth beat Cambridge, and Sunderland knocked out Hamilton Academical. And in the third round, Rangers beat Torquay, Man U beat Wolves, Liverpool beat Blackburn, Falkirk beat Ebbsfleet, unfortunately for them, but a great run for Ebbsfleet. Sunderland beat Sheffield United, Crawley beat Portsmouth, Carlisle beat Wickham, and Chelsea beat Burton. So, meaning our quarter-final lineup is as follows: Sunderland versus Manchester United, Liverpool versus Carlisle, Falkirk playing Crawley, and they've already played their first leg with Falkirk winning that 2-1, and Chelsea v Rangers. I'm a bit undecided there because it's going to be Man U, Liverpool, or Chelsea in the final. But I say that every year, and always one of these teams will get knocked out by one of the lower ranked teams. Which one will it be this time? Could Sunderland beat Man U? Maybe Rangers will beat Chelsea. That's one I doubt will happen because the Scottish teams don't have as much money as the English teams. But saying that, Falkirk beating Crawley after the first leg. In the normal Champions League, not much has happened there because, we've only had the first leg in those ones, but we'll give a brief rundown of the important ones. Atletico Madrid and Bayern 1-1 after the first leg. PSG beating Real Madrid 1-0 after the first leg. Same with Barcelona and Benfica. Barcelona winning 1-0. Inter Milan destroying Doxa Katakopias from Cyprus 4-0 after the first leg. Lyon 3-2 up against Bayer Leverkusen. Juventus 4-1 up over Krasnodar. Meanwhile, in the Europa League, again, only one match played, so we've not got any further into the tournament. But Lazio Hoffenheim was 0-0. AC Milan 1-0 lead, have a 1-0 lead over Napoli. We have in the other Sol Country derby in between two Spanish teams, Bilbao and Eibar shared a 1-1 draw. Rennes lead 1-0 over Sporting Lisbon as well. In the Euro Cup 2, Europa Conference League, call it what you will. The big team results: Deportivo La Coruña beating Željeznica 2-0. Torino beating Jagiellonia 2-1. And Werder Bremen 3-0 up over Austria Vienna, plus the other ones. You can see them there if you want to see them. One other big thing before we go to the league tables, and that is the European Championship qualifiers have been drawn. And obviously, the British team's in there, but you might have a vested interest. So Group A, Croatia, Denmark, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Slovenia. Group B, Albania, went too far. Albania, Austria, Belgium, Finland, and Malta. Group C, Estonia, France, Kosovo, Montenegro, and Slovakia. Group D, Faroe Islands, Hungary, Ireland, North Macedonia, and Poland. Group E, Azerbaijan, Italy, Latvia, Turkey, and Ukraine. Group F, Bulgaria, Holland, Liechtenstein, Portugal, and Serbia. Group G, Belarus, Bosnia, Iceland, Luxembourg and Romania. Group H, Armenia, Czech Republic, Germany, Greece, Moldova. Group I, Israel, Lithuania, San Marino, Sweden and Switzerland. And Group J, Andorra, Cyprus, Norway, Russia and Spain. And as we know, 24 of those teams will qualify for the European Championship in 2024, which is in Hungary. So will the hosts qualify? Who are the hosts got? While I'm looking, I don't actually see the hosts anywhere. Oh no, they're in Group D. So will the hosts qualify from Group D ahead of Ireland and Poland? Who knows? Anyway, let's have a look at some of those league tables. And I did say we'd look at the cups as well today. So let's go to Scotland and have a look at. We'll have a quick peek at the tables. Quick run through. So Dundee leading Dundee United by a single point at the top of the Angus Premiership. Kilmarnock lead the Ayrshire Premiership with a decent lead. Central Scotland, a lower Athletic, 5 points clear of Stenhousemuir. Where are Falkirk? They've faltered a bit, but they are 2 games in hand from top of the table and can go 2 points behind with those. In Dumfries and Galloway, Queen of the South atop. Fife, Rafe atop with 87 points, 3 points clear of Dunfermline Athletic. Glasgow Rangers have gained top spot despite still being in the Empire League. But Celtic still have a few games in hand and will probably overtake Rangers with a couple of wins there. Grampian Aberdeen top with 99 points, very likely to win the league. They're quite clear of Peterhead. Highlands and Islands, Ross County leading with 7-point lead over Inverness, Caledonia and Thistle. Lanarkshire, Motherwell are top by 5 points over Airdrie United. Lothian, Hibernian, they have a 7-point lead over city rivals Heart of Midlothian. While in Perthshire, somehow St Johnstone have yet to win the league, but I imagine it's only a matter of time. They've only dropped points in one game all season. Renfrewshire, we have 2 qualifiers for the end of season playoffs, and those are the usual 2, St Mirren and Morton. While in Scottish Borders Premiership, Gala Ferrydean are top and have a very good lead over Vale of Leven in second, so I imagine they will be retaining their title. Pause if you want to see these leagues as we go and head to the FA, the Scottish Cup. And well, last time I believe we went too far there. We were at the 6th round last time. We could see that Celtic and Rangers made it through, beating Hearts and Motherwell respectively. Partick Thistle beating Wraith there. Unfortunately, the 2 smaller teams, Dalbeattie Star and Cove Rangers, although Cove Rangers are a league team now, but they both were eliminated at that point. Then in the quarterfinals, it all went a bit squiffy because Peterhead beat Dunfermline on penalties. Kilmarnock beat Partick Thistle, the reigning champions. And then the other 2 that we didn't expect, Ross County beating Celtic 3-0 and St Mirren beating Rangers after extra time, meaning the 2 Glasgow Giants once again are out, giving us a semi-final lineup of Peterhead or Ross County against Kilmarnock or St Mirren. Peterhead versus Ross County and Kilmarnock versus St Mirren, and the 2 winners playing in the final. Could Kilmarnock do it 2 in a row, or could Ross County get revenge for last year's final? It's an interesting end of the season in the Scottish Cup once again. Pretty much guarantees the English team will win the Cup Winners' Cup next season, though. In the League Cups, we can see the semi-finals here. Arbroath v Dundee United, Dundee v Brecon. So, skipped Ayrshire there. And again. In Ayrshire, Ayr United are already in the final. They'll be playing Kilmarnock probably, or Kilburney Ladeside, but probably Kilmarnock. In Central Scotland, the three of the big teams there are still in it. Alloa, Stirling and Falkirk, with Stirling University making up the numbers. Dumfries and Galloway. We know the final now. It's Dalbeattie Star versus Queen of the South. In the Fife League Cup, Kelty Hearts doing it for the non-league. They're playing Wraith, and it's Dunfermline v Cowdenbeath in the other one. In the Glasgow League Cup, Celtic are in the final. They'll be playing Rob Roy or Rangers, or probably Rangers. In the Grampian League Cup, Aberdeen, they're probably going to win it. They've got to beat Cove Rangers in the semis, and will probably beat Devon and Vale or Fraserburgh in the final. In Highlands and Islands, Ross County v Inverness Caledonian Thistle for the right to play Brora or Fockhabbers in the final. I've gone a bit too far there. Got a bit squiffy. Lanarkshire, Motherwell versus Hamilton. The winner of that will probably win it. They'll be playing East Kilbride or Cali Braves in the final. While in Lothian, Hearts and Hibs are separate in the semi-finals and will more than likely play each other in the final once they've gone past Linlithgow Rose and Civil Service in the semi-final respectively. Perthshire, we know the final. Kinnoul versus St Johnstone. Renfrewshire, we know the final. Morton versus St Mirren. Shocker there. In Scottish Borders, we're still in the group stage. There's 1 match left to play with Gala Ferrydean currently in pole position, as well as Vale of Leven also currently in pole position. We could be seeing the top 2 play each other in the final there. Also in the Tunnocks carrying away for Challenge Cup, the quarterfinals. Here's your 15 minutes of fame. Invergordon SC versus Forfar West End. Rosyth versus Dalry Thistle. White Hills versus Thurston, and Arniston versus Tranent. In Wales, a quick flick through there. Clwyd Premier. Wrexham have already won the league, ahead of almost 30 points clear of Connors Quay in second. In Dyfed, Haverfordwest have a 8-point lead over Carmarthen. The champions for the last 2 seasons, Aberystwyth, nowhere to be seen, or 4th to be exact, but the gap is way too big for them to catch up. Original champions Pinnacock as well, in the same situation really. In Gwent, Newport County already champions. Undy can't challenge them now. Gwynedd, Bangor City are top, looking to retain the crown. Probably going to happen. They are 13 points clear of Bala. Mid Glamorgan, Merthyr Town also look like they're going to retain their title. They're on 82 compared to Crow, with 64 points in second. Powys, Newtown, 10 points clear of Waterloo Rovers, another one looking to retain. South Glamorgan, Cardiff City, 78 points. They are 15 points clear, but are not champions just yet. Probably will be soon. West Glamorgan, Swansea have won the league. They have a massive lead. 36-point gap between them and Kilvey Fords in second, meaning they are already the champions. Pause if you want to see the lower divisions. And I'll call out anyone if they're already promoted, but doesn't look like it. No, they're not. So in the Welsh Cup, we'll look at the seventh round. See, Swansea beat Afan Lido, Newport County beat Gower, SBGC, Seniors Boys and Girls Club apparently, and Cardiff beat Gilsfield, Merthyr beat Newtown. So the ones you expected to go through went through, apart from Wrexham, who were already eliminated. In the quarterfinals, Waterloo Rovers beat Borth, Swansea beat Merthyr, Cardiff beat Newport County, and Airbus United Kingdom, or Airbus UK, beat Swansea Dockers after extra time, leading us to a semi-final draw of Airbus UK versus Waterloo Rovers and Swansea City versus Cardiff City. So only one of the big teams will make it to the final of the JD Welsh Cup against one of the smaller teams, and then the bigger team will probably win. Clwyd League Cup, we've got Wrexham in there playing Sefton Druids, probably going to win it. Dyfed League Cup, the two teams to have won the league, Aberystwyth and Penryncock, both kept separate. Pembrokeshire and Lampeter, the other teams. I think possibly for the fourth season running, we're going to have a new team win it if Penryncock do miss out. The most open cup in the game from the looks of things. In Gwent, we've got Newport County. They're in there, probably going to win it. Gwynedd League Cup semi-finals, Bangor City and Carnarvon. I see them making the final there at the expense of Felinheli and Kemesbay. I don't know how you pronounce it, apologies. Respectively. Mid Glamorgan and Merthyr Town are probably going to win that. They're playing Max United in the semis to play Betis and Kirau in the final. Powys League, in the Powys League Cup, Clanreda v Knighton, Rhaeadr v Llanfair for the right to play in the final. South Glamorgan League Cup, Cardiff playing Dinas Powys, and then we'll probably beat Barry or Grange in the final. And then West Glamorgan, same situation, Swansea playing Neath, and then we'll probably beat Istaginley or Afan Lido in the final. No lower division cup there, so let's head over to England. Bedfordshire. And we can see that Luton are top by 8 points, probably going to win the league. They have lost a game to Leighton, in fact. In fact, they may have lost it early in the season. I may have even mentioned it earlier in the season, but still worth mentioning. And it's probably still the reason they haven't won the league yet. Berkshire Reading are top by 11 points ahead of Maidenhead United. While in Bristol and Gloucestershire, the gap has lengthened for Bristol City. They are, well, maybe it hasn't. They're only 8 points clear, but Forest Green still unbeaten all season. 22 games in, not been beaten, 5 draws, but they've still got to play Bristol City again. They win that, the gap's down to 5, and they're still probably not going to win the league. In Buckinghamshire, the two top teams have now been separated. Wycombe lead by 2 points ahead of MK Dons, 64 to 62. Chesham a distance behind. Peterborough, Cambridgeshire. Unfortunately, Peterborough, they're still top, but unfortunately, Peterborough North Star have surrendered second place to Cambridge United. But there is only 2 points behind the two, or between the two teams. So the Northern Star could still make it into the Empire League. It's what we're willing, and we will find out in the next edition if they managed it. Cheshire Crew are top by 3 points ahead of Macclesfield, while in Cornwall, Truro, I believe they may have already won the league last time we checked, so that doesn't matter too much. They are 33 points clear at the top of Bodmin. In Cumbria, Barrow, the big spenders over the transfer window, they are top on goal difference ahead of Carlisle United. They have exactly the same situation between the two teams, except for the 47 to 44 goal difference. Nice. Derbyshire, Derby lead the way, 3 points clear of Chesterfield, while in Devon, it's Plymouth, more than likely going to win the title now. They are 10 points clear of Exeter and Torquay in second and third respectively. Dorset, Bournemouth still have a 100% record and still are going to win the league, let's face it. While in Durham, Hartlepool have built up quite the lead, to be exact, a 8-point lead over Darlington in second. Stockton have dropped, well, Stockton haven't dropped, it's Spennymoor that have dropped. Darlington have jumped up to second place, to be exact, with 77 points, 3 points clear of Stockton and an extra point clear of Spennymoor. Essex, Southend still top, 73 points clear. They are probably favourites to win it now. Unfortunately for the other teams below, Colchester have built up a 7-point gap between them and the rest. Chelmsford, Billericay, Braintree have faltered really badly after a good start to the season. Greater London, Chelsea are still unbeaten. They haven't got a 100% record anymore, but they have still got 0 games lost, which is better than Arsenal were doing at this time last season when they won it. Only draw is a 0-0 with Spurs. They've won every other game. Arsenal in second on 63. Palace are up to third on 60, while Tottenham have faltered down to 4th place on 56. Arsenal and Spurs were equal points last time we checked, so that's quite a drop. A 7-point goal or point swing there. West Ham 5th, Fulham 6th. No real surprising. Everyone's going to form really now. Met Police still only 1 win all season. I'd say that it's time to consign them to relegation. Unfortunately, maybe we'll see them back in a couple of years' time. Greater Manchester. Manchester United are still top. They are 1 point clear of Manchester City. Oldham have faltered a lot since a couple of episodes ago when we were heralding them as the new pretenders to the crown. That was a bit of a premature prediction there, with Man City now 13 points clear of them. Oldham are 3rd, Wigan 4th, and Bolton are 5th. In Hampshire, Southampton are top with 62 points, Portsmouth in 2nd on 56, and that's probably how that's going to finish. Hereford, they've already won the league, we knew that though. They've now built up a 36-point lead over Pegasus Juniors in 2nd, who haven't come 2nd yet. They've got a 6-point. It's more of a story of who's going to qualify for the Empire League. Westfields normally do it. I think every season they've done it. Could we be seeing someone new in that 2nd spot and in the Empire League? Hertfordshire and Watford top there by 10 points over Stevenage, while in Kent, Gillingham have a 7-point lead over Ebbsfleet with that great run in the Empire League, but they're out now, which means they can focus on the league campaign and maybe close that 7-point gap. Lancashire and Blackburn still lead the way over their city rivals, their local rivals, Burnley. Not really city rivals, are they? 2 points the gap there. Then a 6-point gap between 2nd and 3rd, Burnley and Preston. And then they've got a 5-point lead over Morecambe in 4th. Leicestershire, and Leicester still had that 100% record, an 18-point lead. I'm surprised they haven't won the league yet. Lincolnshire, Lincoln are only 2 points clear of Scunthorpe in 1st. Then Boston and Grimsby are a bit of a distance behind them. Well, not too. 8 and 9 points respectively, to be exact. Merseyside, Liverpool, still with a 100% record. I'd say it's a safe prediction now that they're going to retain their crown, unless Everton have anything to say about it. They do have a match against Liverpool at Goodison Park before the end of the season, and that could decide the table if Liverpool's goal difference drops a bit, which it may not. Norwich City, 13 points clear of Kings Lynn. In Northamptonshire, we've got Northampton Town, also with a 13-point gap between them and 2nd place Brackley. Northumberland, Tweedmouth they're only 4 points clear of Blythe Spartans. Maybe Blythe Spartans could be, if they can build up a comeback here, they could get their 1st league title and join Tweedmouth and Morpeth in the Hall of Champions there. Nottingham Forest, 5 points clear of Mansfield Town. Possibly no surprises this season. While in Oxfordshire, Oxford have it's only 7 points between them and Oxford City, and they do have 8 games left themselves, and Oxford City have 7 games left. It might not go. Oxford City could catch them. Probably won't, but they could. Shropshire and Shrewsbury Town are top by 7 points. With 70 points to TNS's 63. Somerset, Yeovil have a decent lead over Paulton, meaning they're probably going to win the league too. While in Staffordshire, there is only 3 points between 1st and 3rd place. Stoke on 90 points, but with a massive goal difference. Port Vale and Burton only separated by goals scored. Port Vale scoring more than Burton, both of them on 87 points. But as I said, only 3 points between those 3 teams, and then it's 20 points between 3rd and 4th. Suffolk and Ipswich, 100 points, not champions yet, but it's only a matter of time, seeing as they're 16 points clear of Needham Market. Surrey, Woking are top, and they have a massive lead as well, 15 points clear of Staines in second. Sussex, Brighton, not as big a gap, but I'd say it's a safe bet that they're going to win the league. They have a 7-point lead over Crawley. Tyne and Wear, and last time out, everyone was equal at the top. Well, no longer is that the case, because Newcastle have separated from the pack. They're on 74 points, while Sunderland and Gateshead are both on 68 points. Sunderland leading Gateshead on goal difference. Warwickshire, Stratford, still top, still unbeaten. A good season for them, and they spent big during the transfer window, as we discussed earlier. They are frustrating Nuneaton Borough once more with a 7-point lead. Could Nuneaton Borough catch them? They're running out of time to find out. In West Midlands, West Brom are top. They've got a 4-point lead over Birmingham, 87 points to 83 points. Then there's Aston Villa on 82 points. Before then, we've got a gap, and it's Wolves on 76 points in 4th. 5th are Coventry on 70, and 6th are Solihull Moors on 65, which is a big gap between them and Walsall. So Walsall are the first league side to maybe drop off a little, which isn't surprising considering how out of all the league sides, which one is going to do it. Wiltshire, Swindon have now built up a bit of a gap on Swindon Supermarine. It's looking highly unlikely that Swindon Supermarine are going to catch them, but they may be playing in the Empire League next season, which is a good consolation, as well as the £50 million they'll get as well. So you can't really complain. Worcestershire, Kidderminster, as we heard earlier from at the start of the video, they have retain their championship, 64 points and a 13-point lead over Alvechurch, but there's only a limited amount of games left to play. I think there's only 4 matches left to play. If I was to have a quick look, 27 games played, yeah, so there's only 4 games left to play there. Yorkshire, and it's close between the top 3. So Huddersfield are top on 78 points, Leeds are second on 76 points, or could we see a new champion, as third place Barnsley are on 75 points, only 3 points behind the top team. 4th for Hull on 70, they're probably an outside bet, and then you've got from 5th onwards the teams that probably aren't going to be featuring in those top 2 positions. Middlesbrough on 64, Rotherham on 63, Sheffield Wednesday on 58 or 59, and Sheffield United on 58, which is a disappointing season for them considering they were runners up last season. I believe they were runners up anyway, weren't they? Yes, they were. Right. Pause if you want to see what's happening in these lower divisions, although I'll quickly stop and see how this one's doing. Sutton United have built a decent lead over Barnet. They are 9 points clear of Barnet, although Barnet have 2 games in hand on them, but I imagine they're both getting promoted anyway. And yes, as we carry on and see all these other ones, we have a champion there. Friar Lane and Epworth are champions of the Leicestershire and Rutland Championship, and will be playing in the top division next season. Obviously, we're not going to see any of these in the next edition, because the next edition is the Champions Edition. Hengrove have won League One in Bristol and Gloucestershire. Well done to them. And no other champions. So in the FA Cup, if we skip back to the 6th round, see if there's any interesting results there, such as MK Dons eliminating Tottenham on penalties. I think we already knew that one. Man City beat Chelsea, and we had Man United beating Kidderminster, and nothing really too shocking. Norwich beating West Ham 4-0, maybe. Not really that shocking though, is it? Seeing as Norwich are previous FA Cup winners. In the 7th round, Man U beat Arsenal, Leicester beat MK Dons, Exeter and Norwich still to play. Bolton beat Port Vale, Fulham beat Derby, Reading beat Sheffield United. We also have Stoke versus Man City yet to play, and Bristol City beating Peterborough after extra time. Quarter-final draw, Reading play Bristol City, Leicester play Bolton, Fulham v Man U, and Stoke or Man City beat Exeter or Norwich. And anyone can win it, because there's so much money going around in this game, or that who knows, but if we're to hazard a guess, probably going to be Man City again, and then they'll win their fourth Cup Winners' Cup out of 5. Moving on, we see the League Cup draws. So in the League Cup, Luton playing AFC Dunstable, and then we'll probably beat Leighton or Barton Rovers in the final. Berkshire, we've got Reading against Maidenhead. No, second against first there. The winner of that plays Fatcham or Hungerford. Bristol and Gloucestershire. Cheltenham v Bristol Rovers, Cirencester v Longlevens. Where's Bristol City and Forest Green? The only 2 teams to have won it. So we're getting a new winner of this competition next season. In Buckinghamshire, we know the final. Well, we know half of the final, as Burnham or Beaconsfield will take on the reigning champions Wickham in the final. Cambridge League Cup, Cambridge v Peterborough. So the big team plays the next big team, possibly, as Yaxley versus Peterborough Northern Star in the other semi-final. Cheshire League Cup, Chester v Nantwich, Macclesfield v Alsager. The winners play in the final, which I'm predicting at a Chester-Macclesfield final. No Crewe. In Cornwall, we know the final, Godolphin versus Crewe. While in Cumbria, we also know the final there, as Carlisle will play Penrith. Derbyshire, and it's Alfreton v Chesterfield, Derby v South Normanton, Derby v Chesterfield final, I'm predicting there. In Devon, Plymouth v Torquay in the final. Dorset, we've got Shaftesbury v Bournemouth. Not too surprising there that Bournemouth are there. Can they win it again? I imagine, I think, yes, so it'll be 4 in a row for them. Durham, Hartlepool v Stockton, Consett v Darlington. I couldn't give a safe bet there. I don't know who's going to win that one. Any of those 4 could do it, judging from form over the last few seasons. Essex, Southend, Colchester, the 2 big teams against 2 of the pretenders to the thrones, Billericay and Chelmsford. The winners play in the final, obviously. Greater London, interesting lineup here. Chelsea v Crystal Palace and Tottenham versus Dagenham and Redbridge. Interesting, a decent run for Dagenham and Redbridge, but I imagine their run is going to end against Tottenham in the semi-finals there. Greater Manchester, and we've got the 2 big teams separated. So Man U play Bolton, Curzon Ashton play Man City, and I imagine we'll have a Manchester derby, an actual Manchester derby in the final. Hampshire and the Isle of Wight. Portsmouth play Tadley, and then Portsmouth will probably win to play Southampton, who will probably beat Havant and Alluvial. Hertfordshire, we've got St Albans versus Watford and Hitchin versus Stevenage. Kent, Maidstone versus Edgefield and Dover v Tunbridge. No Gillingham in the semi-finals there. Lancashire, Barnoldswick are in the semi-finals. They're playing Morecambe while Burnley play Fleetwood. Leicestershire and Rutland. It's Leicester v Quorn. No surprises that Leicester in there. And they will probably play Hinckley or Melton in the final. Lincolnshire, Grantham v Barton Town, Grimsby v Scunthorpe. So only one of the 3 big teams in Lincolnshire will be making the final, which is interesting there. Everton versus Liverpool. The winner plays Tranmere in the final. In Norfolk, we know the final. It's Norwich v Galston. While in Northamptonshire, we don't know the final, but it will probably involve Northampton as they play Brackley. They'll be playing the winners of Daventry versus Corby. While in Nottinghamshire, it's Mansfield v Notts County and Nottingham Forest v Clifton. 3 of the big teams still in it. Oxfordshire, Oxford United, they're away at Ardley in the semis, while Oxford City and Fame play the winner of that, which will probably be Oxford. Shropshire, it's Market Drayton versus Shrewsbury in the final there. While in Somerset, Yeovil play Weston-super-Mare, and Taunton versus Frome. I couldn't make a solid prediction on that one. Anyone could win it, seeing as Larkhall won it last year. Staffordshire, Tamworth were the reigning champions, and they've got a chance again. They're playing Chasetown in the semi-finals to play Port Vale or Stoke in the final. Suffolk, Ipswich have not been eliminated early like last season. They play Bury Town, and if they manage to do that, they'll be against AFC Sudbury in the final. While in Surrey, it's Walton Casuals v Woking and Leatherhead versus Dorking in the final. Sussex, in the semi-final, Sussex, Worthing v Shoreham in a bit of a derby there. They're right next to each other. While Horsham v Brighton in the semi-finals. And in Tyne Wear, we have, once again, Sunderland versus Newcastle in the semi-finals. I think they play each other in the semi-finals every year from what I remember. We'll see Gateshead v Hebburn. In Warwickshire, we know the final already. The group stages have already finished, but they've just not drawn it. And it's the same teams that have played the final in each of the last 3 years. It's Stratford and Leamington. They've both made the final once more. As we can see, they're in order, so it's Leamington's turn to win it this season. Let's see if it goes to the pattern. West Midlands, Walsall v Aston Villa, Coventry v West Brom. Who knows who's going to win that one? It's a great lineup in the semi-finals. Wiltshire, no Swindon Town once again. It's Royal Wootton Bassett versus Swindon Supermarine and Melksham v Salisbury. Who knows who's going to win that one? Swindon Supermarine could win it for the 3rd season running, in fact. Worcestershire, Kidderminster play Alvechurch in the final. And finally in Yorkshire, it's a Sheffield derby with United v Wednesday in the semis, and Garforth have made it to the semis to play Leeds. And finally, the leasing.com trophy. We're actually still deep into it. The 5th round, if we take a look at the big teams, we can see there that Morpeth in Northumberland playing Afton Collieries, Hereford play Alford, Berwick still in against Southend Manor, Blythe play Harpenden, Tweedmouth play Tadcaster, Hazen Yedding relegated last season, they're playing Stanford, Barnet are playing Corinthian Casuals, and Sutton still in, no. Lowest ranked team is AFC Portchester from the Hampshire and Isle of Wight League 1. and they're playing where. And that's it. And we've gone through the whole thing. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Next time, it's the end of the season. We're going to see who all of the league champions are. All 85. So until then, like, subscribe, and rock on.